When you're going on your self journey, you shouldn't be dating anybody. You're dating yourself. Because you're trying to figure out yourself. Because you can't give anybody you if you don't even know you. You can't have somebody love you if you don't even know you to love you. How is somebody else going to know you and love you for real? Does that make sense, ladies? Hi everybody, it's the boss Brittany, aka Brittany from 90 Day Fiance. I am coming to you guys because I want to let you know I have started a wonderful podcast and group. It's all about women, it's all for women, it's all about taking care of us, our spirit, our health, our finances, and just basically sharing with other women our experiences in life, just so we can know that we are not alone. So basically it's an open group for women to share anything they want, their businesses, their accomplishments, anything. And then we'll get together every week and we will support each other and talk about different issues and things that we have going on. And I thought that was amazing to do, because it's so many women that are struggling with the same things or kind of just need support from other women that are like-minded. So I thought it would be great to just create one place where all women can come together, no matter their background, no matter their religion, no matter their race or anything. This will just be a safe space for us to discuss our issues, to discuss our concerns, where it concerns women in our livelihoods. So, before I get into this podcast, which is named AngryKat, and I want to let you guys know why it's called AngryKat. AngryKat is an inspiration to me. I actually made a painting and I decided to name it AngryKat. It was inspired by everything I go through as a woman, past traumas, things that I deal with today as a black woman, things that I deal with just because I have a vagina, and it's just kind of, it gets hard to deal with the world sometimes when you're a woman. And one thing I always remember is people telling me to smile when I walk down the street, and I know that's something that gets on a lot of women's nerves, because it's like, why do I have to smile for you, sir? You know, so I decided to call it AngryKat. I can be an angry pussy if I want. So now, with that being said, next thing is next. I just want to let you guys know that today's podcast is sponsored by Modern Girl Trend, and I have on, actually right now, it's edge control. I just decided to do a little bun. I washed my hair and I could put it in a bun. Yeah. So yeah, I use this for my edges and it did a really good job. Like, my edges are laid, and it doesn't flake, and it's very lightweight, and I don't have to use a lot of it. So this is an amazing product. Honestly, this is the only edge control I've ever used that has ever really worked. So, yeah, I just want to give that a big shout out. So thank you. And we are going to move right on into the topic. So today's topic is going to be about relationships with yourself, relationships with others, relationships with family and friends. So this is going to pertain to any kind of relationship that you have. This will be relationships in general, because first things first, I want everybody to understand relationships, no matter who they are, they should hold a certain value and weight. Nobody gets a pass to treat you horribly because they are your mother, because they are your father, because they are your boyfriend, because they are your friend. No. Relationships are always supposed to be mutually beneficial for both people. If it's only beneficial for one person, that's not a relationship. You're being used, or you are doing the using. So that's first things first for you to understand when I go into talking about relationships. So with that being said, when it comes to relationships, let's start with relationships that you are born into. Your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your family, maybe your relationship with your sister, your brother, your cousin, whatever the case may be. Now, first thing is to remember that these are regular people. I know that because maybe they're your family, you want to hold them to a higher standard, you want to hold them and view them in this hero light. But you have to remember that these people are only human. They make mistakes. They have the same character, the same traits, The same personality things. They can be toxic too, just like anybody on the street. So you have to be aware of that. You have to not expect things out of people. Just expect things out of yourself. Don't expect anything from anyone else. Just let people do what they're going to do. So that way, you're never disappointed. You're never shocked. You're never ashamed. You might be a little like, that's fucked up. But that's on you. Because at the end of the day, you came prepared and you have the mindset that you're not going to put expectations on the next person. You can't do that. So the only expectation that you should have should really be on you. You have to be responsible for yourself. You have to be responsible for how you react to certain things and how you react to certain people. So your family, they may treat you well, and that's great and dandy, but a lot of us have family that maybe have hurt us. We have past trauma with our parents. Especially, I know some women of color have like really tough problems with, their parents and not being listened to and not having just proper guidance and love in our lives. But that's a generational thing, and that's something that I've learned not to place blame for. I just don't fuck with it, if you know what I mean. So I just learned to see people for who they are, not who I think they're supposed to be. So I don't really have a great relationship with both of my parents. I'm working on it. That's something that I'm working on, but it took me a while to really sit with myself and cry a lot and do a lot to realize that my parents are only people, and I've been holding them to this pedestal, and even though for me it might be the bare minimum, for them they can't give me that. So I have to accept that, and I have to move on. I have to love myself. I have to mother myself. I have to father myself. I have to love myself. The love that I feel like I'm missing, I have to give it to myself. That's what I would love for you ladies to do. You're missing love from your family, this and that. Take some time. Evaluate what you're missing. Evaluate what hurts you so you can address it. Find what hurts you. And ask yourself, why does this hurt me? Why does this hurt me? Figure that out first. Then once you figure out why it hurts you, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Tell yourself you are sorry for being down on yourself. You are sorry for feeling ashamed. You are sorry for feeling not good enough. It's not your fault. You can't be held responsible for how others treat you. They're responsible for their actions. You're only responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your reaction. You're responsible for you. You're responsible for how people treat you. You are responsible. And that's what a lot of us have to realize. We place a lot of blame because we have a lot of ego. So we always say, I. But when you fuck with other people, you can't I. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. So you can't say, I did this for you or I done that for you, and expect somebody to give you what you feel like you deserve for doing that for them. When you do things for people, and I'm going to say that that's a problem that you have. And I know you hate to hear it, but I'm going to tell you, it's a problem with you. That's your ego. Your ego wants to tell you, if I do this for this person, they're going to love me. They're going to go hard for me. They're going to do this for me if I do this for that person. That's manipulation. That's a form of manipulation. You manipulate people when you do that. So then we get upset when we can't manipulate people. When those people don't fall in love with us, those people don't give us what we want them to give us, we get upset. But we kind of knew what we were doing when we were going in. See, you can't judge people based off of what you do for them. You have to judge people based off of their character. If somebody loves you, you don't have to do anything for them. They're going to do for you because they love you. They're going to be there for you because they love you. If you have to do things for somebody to love you, they ain't love you in the first place. They had no interest in trying to love you in the first place. And you have to accept that. Everybody ain't going to need you. Woo! That hurt. It hurt, don't it? It hurt when I first heard that. They don't need you. That man don't need you. That person don't need you. You are trying to make that person need you and make that person want you. They don't need you. They don't want you. And they're showing you time and time again that they don't need you and they don't want you. And that's perfectly fine. Because you have to be secure with you. You have to love you. You have to know what you bring to the table. You have to love yourself and sit with yourself and figure out, what do I really like? What are my traumas? What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? Then you sit down, you assess that, you learn yourself, you love yourself, you tweak that. That in itself takes a year or two. When you're going on your self journey, you shouldn't be dating anybody. You're dating yourself. Because you're trying to figure out yourself. Because you can't give anybody you if you don't even know you. You can't have somebody love you if you don't even know you to love you. How is somebody else going to know you and love you for real? Does that make sense, ladies? All right. That's a word. I'm telling you. Know yourself. And once you do that, I promise you, I'm a living testament. Once you do that and you turn around and you start knowing who you are and you love yourself, men are going to be tripping over themselves to get to you. And you ain't going to be stunned there. You're going to be like, be the finest man in the world. What do you bring to the table? How do we complement each other? Do your personality traits and the way you are as a man, do they complement my traumas or do they make them worse? Can you help me build? Do you motivate me? You have to watch out for those signs. How is he when he's angry? Is he buck, up? Is he rude, turn the radio up on me while I'm talking? Or is he, baby, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's solve this. What can we do collectively to fix this issue and then prevent it moving forward? Don't get in a situation with one of these young buck roughneck and think you're gonna change him, or one of these little fuck boys around here and think you're gonna change him into better, because he don't love himself and you can't make him love you. You can't make him love him. His mama couldn't do it, his daddy couldn't do it, you can't do it. He has to love him because he's ready to love him. So I hope that I gave you guys a little bit of tea, just a little bit of tea on this topic as far as relationships. I know I wanted to break it down, but I kind of just gave it to you guys all at once because every relationship is pretty much, it's the same deal. It's the same deal. So with every relationship, it's going to be the same thing. Mutual respect. You have to love yourself. Everybody has to be responsible for their actions themselves. You cannot be manipulative. You have to love out of the pureness of your heart. You have to love and not expect a fucking thing back. That is real love. Real love is me doing something for you because I want to do that for you. Not because any other reason, because I'm expecting something back, because I'm your girl, because I'm your girlfriend, because I'm your mom, because I'm your friend. No. It's because you love that person. Not because of the title and you're trying to go by what the title, what people tell you what you should do if you have this title. No. Go by actions. Go by what you're seeing. Go by logical things. Think logically. When you are getting into relationships, when you are looking at your partner and trying to figure out, is this the person for me? Think logically. Think about how you would feel if you loved yourself. If you had a daughter, would you let any man that has hurt you before treat your daughter how you allowed a man to continuously treat you? No. If you answered no, but then you let a man do it to you, that means you don't love yourself. That means you have some work to do. And when I tell you that it takes a long time for you to love yourself, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of meditation, it takes yoga, yes, exercise, girl, you gotta exercise, it takes eating right, healthy eating, yes, healthy eating. No, you don't want to hear it. Hate to hear it. You hate to hear it, hate to see it, but you gotta do it. Take care of yourself, ladies. Self-care, self-love. Don't put off those plans that you have. Get them done. Don't put off that business that you're working on. Work on it a little bit every day. Eventually, you'll be a boss. A little bit every day adds up to a lot. It sounds easy for me to, I know you guys are easy for her to say right now, but you guys don't understand. I done went through it. I went through the dirt. I went through the dust. I went through it. The trenches. And after my spiritual journey, I lost myself again, and I had to find myself again. Because I let outside sources come in and get in my ear or get in my head or influence my energy. That's another thing. If someone doesn't have a good energy, keep them from around you. Period. Keep them from around you if they don't have a good energy. They don't have a good energy, they're ruining your energy. They're ruining your self-esteem. They're ruining your self-love. They're ruining all of that. They don't have a good energy. Doesn't matter where it comes from. If it's on your Instagram, somebody comments something crazy on your Instagram, block their ass immediately. Do not let no negativity penetrate your bubble. Anybody start talking crazy negative, remove yourself. No reason in putting yourself in situations where you know you're going to have to argue, know you're going to have to constantly defend yourself, know you're going to have to constantly prove yourself. Don't put yourself in situations like that. What makes people, that's what mind boggles me. I don't know why people feel like certain people, especially women out here, have to prove themselves. I don't have to prove myself to you or you, guy. Nigga, no. So, I think it's just a lot of things that us women, we are so nurturing and we're so loving that sometimes we let that overstep our logical thinking. We will literally make ourselves ignorant or make ourselves think that we're crazy so that we can go along with whatever seems to float our boat at the moment, but not what's good for us in the long run. And you don't want to be in a situation, and unfortunately a lot of us are, you don't want to be in a situation where you're with a guy and you take too long and then you have a baby and he's not helping you do anything. He's not helping to support you. He's not doing anything, but you kind of seen those signs along the way of the relationship that he wasn't a responsible male. Now, that's not everybody. That doesn't happen with everybody. Please do not get me wrong. Some men really do up and flip and do a whole 360 magic trick. But a lot of the times we see little traits beforehand that we ignore. So there's a lot of toxic traits that we need to ignore when we're meeting people and going into relationships. That's another thing about us being responsible for ourselves. So that's something that we're going to talk about on next week's podcast, is learning to watch for toxic traits and people that you are looking to date, whether that be a woman, whether that be a man, whether that be a trans, whether that be anybody. Because remember, we are all inclusive. We accept all women, all races, all religions, any type, like I don't care who you, lesbian, bi, straight, trans, you are welcome. This is a safe space for you. So next week, we will talk about how to watch for toxic men and how to keep yourself safe when you are out here dating or, interacting with people, when you're going out with your girlfriends, and sex workers. We are here for sex workers. So we want to give sex workers pointers on how to keep yourself safe, and girls on OnlyFans. We have to teach each other how to stay safe when we're on OnlyFans, because it could be anybody crazy. You put one thing up, have one little snippet of a piece of mail in your room while you twerking, and a crazy man will catch it and come be at your door. So it's a lot that we have to be careful of. And so I want to come back next week and we'll talk about that. And I'll also have some guests on the show. So I'm going to post this into the group. And if anybody has anything that they think that they can add to next week's podcast, I will have you on the podcast if you're available, or I will basically just take whatever you write for me and I will reiterate that to everybody else watching at home. And then we will have a discussion and talk about it on our weekly meeting. So I want to thank you guys for listening in to this episode of AngryKat, the first episode of AngryKat. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really hope that I gave you guys some gems. I really hope that you all can give me some gems in this discussion group. I hope that you guys post a lot. Please share accomplishments, please. Share quotes that you find when you're scrolling on Instagram and you say, hey, this is pretty cool. Hey, this is really inspirational. Share it with us, girl. Put it in the discussion group because we want to read it too. We want to be inspired too. We want to be motivated too, boo. So share with your girls. Love you guys. I wish you all the best. I wish you positivity. I am manifesting love, light, big finances, big success, big love. I'm manifesting all of that for myself and for you ladies. Thank you. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye.